Hello, everyone. This is the review video for the DuBois study questions. Number one, find the place in the text where DuBois quotes from Kipling's White Man's Burden. What is the context in DuBois for using this quote? We look at Souls of White Folk. Just gonna It's right here on page 931 in this paragraph here, the end of it. Half devil and half child. It's a quote from Kipling. What is the context? The context is racism. Context is that Du Bois is saying that the people he refers to as the darker peoples, non-white peoples, are viewed by Europeans as inferior, and that they are really good for nothing but being servants. So he quotes this idea that they are, from the European point of view or from the white point of view, the non-white peoples are half devil and half child, just straight out of Kipling. Number two, what is the silent revolution that Du Bois mentions on page 932? This is actually kind of difficult to figure out exactly what he's saying, but I think I have an idea. This is on 932. It says, such as the silent revolution that has gripped modern European culture in the late 19th and 20th centuries. If we look at the previous paragraph, Du Bois says, such degrading of men by men is as old as mankind, and the invention of no one race or people. That is, people have always oppressed each other. But, he says, ever have men striven to conceive of their victims as different from the victors, endlessly different in soul and blood, strength and cunning, race and lineage. It has been left, however, to Europe, to modern days, to discover the eternal worldwide mark of meanness, color, such as the silent revolution that has gripped modern European culture. My reading of that is that the silent revolution is racist thinking. The silent revolution in European culture was this new idea that people could be classified into some kind of hierarchy according to their skin color, according to race. Obviously, from the white point of view, with white people being at the top. This is the revolution. It's a revolution in thinking. It's the injection of race into the way that we think about human beings and the world. So that's my interpretation. The silent revolution is a racist revolution. Europeans, white people, have come to think in racist terms, whereas they didn't before. One of the things that he says is that in the Enlightenment and the Middle Ages, people didn't think in racist terms. So this is a fairly new thing, he says, this revolution, which is a racist revolution. Sad to say. Number three, what does Du Bois mean by asking what is the black man but America's Belgium? This is contexted in World War I, where Germany really did commit war crimes in Belgium, whether they were exaggerated for propaganda purposes by England or not. But the irony, Du Bois is saying, is that when it comes to human rights violations, black people in America have been the victims of that for a very long time, pointing out that America has its own Belgium in the sense that it has its own shame because it is a human rights violator on its own territory. This leads really into question number 4. On page 937, Du Bois says it is curious to see America, the United States, looking on herself first as a sort of natural peacemaker, then as a moral protagonist in this terrible time. No nation is less fitted for this role. Why does he say this? This is also contexted in World War I, where the United States, coming into the war late, first of all, provided the manpower, military force that pretty much decided the war. It was a stalemate, both sides exhausted, and the injection of American troops into the war pretty much doomed Germany. But then President Wilson, took it upon himself to head up the peace conference, the Treaty of Versailles, which is kind of a disaster. But so what Du Bois is saying is that it's just terribly ironic that America would see itself as as he called, the natural peacemaker, the moral force that will rectify the situation. Again, looking, as he says, no nation is less fitted for this role, because not only because of the legacy of slavery, but because of the continued human rights violations against black people in America. So that America is not qualified to be the moral rectifier of Europe or anywhere, from Du Bois's point of view. So that's what he meant there.